Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are as excited as I am today, because I would like to introduce to you our next speaker. And our next speaker is none other than Dr. Cathy Woodhouse. She's an internal medicine physician with an interest in bariatric medicine. Now, you heard it correctly. I'm going to pronounce it again. Bariatric medicine. And you may wonder, what is bariatric medicine? I will tell you. It is the science of weight loss, weight maintenance, and weight gain. Now, she has a message of hope and love for all of us today. Hopefully, you will be greatly edified. So without any further delay, I am so excited to introduce to you Dr. Cathy Woodhouse.
Thank you. That was the best introduction I've ever had in my life. My mother would be proud. What I don't have is a clicker.
Is this the clicker?
No. So a clicker you have to put into your computer,
Oh, okay.
and I don't know if I have one.
No worries. That's okay. I know what to do. We're good. I'm going to go old school and use my mouse in my hand.
Nope, that's good. Go ahead, keep going, keep going.
Oh, okay. Go. I need this right here, too. Okay, just make sure I can... Yeah.
Is it working?
I think so. All right. Oh, before I get started, what a great introduction. I'm changing the flow of the energy in the room. But what I do need y'all's help with two things. I need your help with content. I need to understand if this is something that people want to hear more about. Oh, thank you. What do I do? What do I click? This one right here? This one right here? Okay.
Yep.
And secondly, I need your help with organization. I feel personally like it takes me too long for the audience to know what I'm talking about and what I'm going to help them with specifically. I feel like I'm kind of doing this a little bit before I get to the main meat and potatoes, and I had trouble kind of putting that a little forward in presentation. So please, 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 if you can help me with that, and please don't ding me too much on my presentation skills. Just got my CC, and I only had like a week and a half to work on this, so you see me kind of cheat a little bit, please forgive me, but content is what I need, right? All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. May I just make one request? Just one. Can we just eat food? Don't you want to be free just to eat anything you want without worrying about calories and fat grams and protein?
Oh my God.
Yeah, don't you want to be free to eat your food? And aren't we tired of people wagging their fingers in our faces and telling us, you can't eat this, you can't eat that? Basically, they want us to eat this. Meat? Oh no, you can't eat meat. Meat causes heart disease, high cholesterol, cancer, sickness. Oh no, you can't eat carbs. Carbs are what actually cause heart disease, cancer, and sickness. Honey, I know it's the 4th of July, but we can't grill. It causes cancer. Oh, you know, coffee is finally good for you. Oh, wait, it causes cancer. And salmon is good for you, except it causes mercury poisoning. So what do we do when we just want to enjoy our food? I suggest that we do so. And I'd like us to enjoy our food right now. So sorry. So, there's some of you in the room that are plant-based. I'm omnivore, so just take you through some wonderful racks of lamb there. And we can all agree on that that is delicious. This happens to be, you can't see, potatoes with bacon, because bacon makes everything better. Our lovely pancakes. More bacon. This is a dish my boyfriend made. It's a shrimp wrapped in bacon. And of course the American staple, hamburgers, fries. You know it. Oh, and gotta have this. This is just wonderful. And actually, this is a vegetarian beef and pizza pizza
I got you.
made with a cauliflower crust. Awesome, awesome. Food is wonderful, right? I am here as a medical professional to tell you to enjoy your food. And as a physician, you know, usually it's unusual for doctors to tell people to eat food, right? Normally, we're only allowing people to eat food if they've got a terminal illness. But when you think about it, all of us have a terminal condition, so I believe we should enjoy our food. And here's the interesting thing. Not only should we enjoy our food, but we are wired to enjoy food. Did you know that when we're born, we have a taste for sweet? As a matter of fact, research has shown that when newborns exit the birth canal, they want a sugar solution more so than a water solution. Yeah. So you know what this means, right? This means that as soon as we come out of the womb, we want cake. Absolutely. And did you know that we have 10,000 taste buds in our mouths, and not just on our tongue, all over our mouths and even on our lips? Yeah, and that these taste buds, get this, are replaced every 2 weeks. We are supposed to enjoy our food. We're wired for it. We most certainly are. And I'd like to take it up a notch. Do you think that it's possible to love food? And I submit to you that loving food is very similar to loving another human being. So how do you know you're in love? Let me hear. How do you know you're in love? What kinds of things? Might you think about them all day long? Yeah? You sit at your desk and you should be working, and you're daydreaming, going, I wonder what he's doing right now. Or, when it comes to food, thinking, I bet you that beer in the fridge is good and cold right about now. Absolutely. Do you have pictures on your phone when you love someone, yeah? Okay. So how many of us here actually have pictures of food on our phone? Oh my goodness, really? Okay, what about recipes? No recipes? Okay, recipes on the phone. Well, I'll have to pick up the slack because I love food. And this is me. I'm not quite two. And for those of you who cannot see, I'm holding a piece of chicken, and I'm sitting in front of a plate of pork and beans. So this is not high cuisine, y'all, it's not. But you can see the look of joy on my face and rapture. This is what I was meant to do here. I was meant to eat. And everything was fine until I was 5 years old. And when I was 5 years old, my parents sent me to my grandparents' house for the summer. And it changed my life completely. Because when I went to my grandparents' house, all summer long, they force-fed, because that's what grandparents do, force-fed me the tastiest food on the planet. And I could say that with great certainty, on the planet, okay? And we're talking cakes, we're talking pies, we're talking fried chicken, we're talking fried fish, and best of all, homemade hot yeast rolls dripping with butter. Yeah, and every summer I would go, I would get bigger and bigger. I'd come off the plane, my parents say I was literally rolling off the plane. It was an issue. And as a matter of fact, it was an issue so much that for the next 40 years, I struggled with my weight. Here's another picture. You can't really see this, I apologize for it being so grainy. This was not a good time in my life, so you can imagine not many pictures were taken. This is one of the ones I could rescue. I was about 40 pounds overweight in this photo. And I started developing problems. One of the big problems was that my patients were starting to think that I was pregnant. Every other week, they would ask me if I were expecting, which of course I wasn't. And I'll never forget, this little black lady, she's one of my patients would come to me, and one day we were sitting in the office together, and she would look me up and down. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, baby? I said, yes, ma'am. She called me baby, she didn't call me doctor. She was old enough to be my grandmother. She said, baby? She says, you like cornbread, don't you? I shook my head and I said, yes, ma'am. I loved cornbread, but it was becoming a problem. Now, what about you? Well, maybe your doctors told you you had high cholesterol. Or maybe your doctors recently told you you have prediabetes or even diabetes. Or maybe, what does that mean? 1 minute. Oh, well, Maybe you have other reasons for you to lose weight. Your pills, or you take too many pills, or you just don't feel well. You look right, you look left, you look at family members, and you see people who've lost toes. You think to yourself, I can't go in that direction. So what do you do when you need to lose weight or be healthy, but you love food, and you're wired for food? Well, I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit. That's too fast. I'm a little off, I'm sorry.
Well, so
Very
we can
good.
do just the intro. We can give
Okay.
you some feedback on what you got right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, there's plenty there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
thank
much.
Wow.
Overtime, I'm sorry.
No, no, you're good.
No, you're good.
I know, it's really hard. I know.
You did 10 minutes, was that 10 minutes or 7 minutes?
That was just at 10:40.
Oh, Lord have mercy, okay.
Yeah, but it shows we were into it because it went fast.
Yes.
Cathy, that was great. I'm going to focus in on what you asked for feedback on. Let me say the positives or the pluses. I love I know you didn't ask for delivery, but it connects. You probably had a laugh going every 20 seconds here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
easily.
I mean, that's incredible. Since you said you're new at speaking, people
Yeah.
go for years trying to get one laugh.
Mhm.
And part of that is your wit, your relaxed up here. You're just kind of having a conversation like we talked about. So in terms of the content, oh, and the one last thing is you have some great phrases. I was rolling off the plane. You know, the conversations you have that make it real time instead of saying, you know, this old black lady said this to me, we're there with you, you know? And then everybody, that catch line, what does she say, cornbread, do you enjoy your cornbread? So I guess my one backup question was, who's the audience for this
Yes.
talk?
The audience is for people who are struggling with weight.
Okay,
So that's my,
so I wouldn't necessarily be there, because I'm trying to go the other way. I'm supposed to eat all that stuff. I'm not supposed to say that
That was supposed to be your inside voice.
What's wrong with you, Jennifer?
I know, but I don't want to be one of these old, these. I know, it's a very rare prize, it's just my cheek. Okay, so here's the deal, yeah, but that makes, okay, first of all, you don't want to show this before lunch, right?
yeah. Maybe I do.
I mean, I'm speaking, I don't think so. You're gonna be like, and every one of those was so beautiful. That food looked luscious, it wasn't like, and I would cut back a little bit on those. You got a lot of slides about food.
Okay.
I think I would pick the ones that are your favorites. Are you getting the most, like some of us were, which were, ask people what are your, I just think you can overdo it with that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think, I liked your questions, let me go back to the like, but I think you had too many questions in there. When you talk about content,
Yes.
cut back, because the questions keep us from hearing what your point is. And here, that was my biggest feedback on this. So you said, you gave great research on 10,000 taste buds. So we're wired to love it sugar. And we're all going, yeah, I might have heard that before, but wow. Again, credibility, you have data. But then I want to know, okay, so what's the connection to me? And you get to that a little bit later. But I think you need to connect it more to me instead of going on and giving us more information. So here's the point. So 10,000 taste buds. So we're really wired to, to enjoy sugar. So how does that, have you ever had that, so instead of asking a question. So that's why we need to focus in, and what I wanted to have a conversation with you about today are these three things. Okay.
I was late to get to that.
You were late to get to it, but you're still working this out, so it's okay. But let's get to it a little sooner, because you got a lot of fun, and I love the fun, keep that, but just cut back a little bit on the 8 questions and the pictures, and get to the point of what we're covering. So one, we're going to talk about this, 2, and 3. Does that make sense? So when you talk about the structure, I think if you did that, you got a winner there. You really do. Okay.
So, spot on. I think I think you have such a disarming presence, and that's that's not scripted. You weren't up there playing a role for us. I think that's just, you were just being very natural. So I really want to celebrate that for you, because I think that it's hard sometimes to see how disarming we are, right? So it's hard for you to see you in this sense, but I would spend some time with the video and look at it with a kind eye and realize, like, you did have us all laughing constantly through that speech. That's a big deal, and you're not talking about a subject that's you talking about a subject that probably is pretty negative for a lot of people. I would consider starting with the 2-year-old. I thought that was a beautiful picture. I like the idea of starting with a story about you, and I love I was rolling off the plane, thought that was hysterical. I love the story about the old lady and the cornbread. I think you can tighten those up and get off of the subject of you fairly quickly, but you'll pull us in. Spot on cutting down some of the food pictures or food comments. And then for your pictures, I love the fact that all you have are pictures, but either make them the whole screen or frame them somehow, so that, you know, instead of, because they were all different sizes, and if you really want to have the impact, have that entire screen fill up with that pizza, it's huge. So you have to be careful about, like, how the ratios go, but that's what I would look at doing. You have a little bit, and I know we weren't going to do presentation stuff, but I want to make sure that, because if you catch it early before it becomes a habit, it's easy to fix. Gene Shore calls it punctuation face. Have you ever heard of this? You make a good point, you go, and then he said, so it's that smacking of the lips, right? And it's so, it's all subconscious. You won't realize everything that you're doing until you watch it on video, and you can get past that. Just pay attention to, like, keeping your lips apart after you make a point, and you'll knock it out very quickly. It's not prevalent throughout, but I did notice. I dropped the grainy pick. I don't think that's.
Yeah. Okay.
You really don't have another picture?
I have to find one.
Yeah, or just don't have one.
No.
You know, we just talk about that fact that, you know, you've obviously lost that weight, and you can talk about that. I don't think it serves you though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't have anything else. That's awesome. It was really good.
Can I just use one word instead of disarming?
Yes.
Authentic. I like
Yes.
throw
Thank
in
you.
there.
Thank
It's
you.
just another word.
One of my favorite words.
Yeah, me too.
But you've really made progress since the last time I've seen you speak. Like, before you were, like, trying to go over the top, like maybe I was this morning there, but you've gotten to a groove of being authentic and genuine. I thought it was wonderful. I think you could shorten up a little bit about the food in the beginning there. Like, you made your point and you made it over the point.
Well, I loved it. I saw you the first time, and I agree. Another huge improvement. Obviously, you're working very hard on it, so I'm very proud of you for doing that. One of the things that helped me with refining my script, because I really tried to talk from my heart and try to move on. And I wasn't really writing the script and then memorizing it until I got close with Showcase, and I needed to make sure that I got everything in the 10 minutes. What it might help if you took the soundtrack from this right here and sent it to rev.com, and for $10 they'll go ahead and they'll transcribe it for you, and you get it like in 30 minutes later.
That's an app.
It's amazing. Yeah, use the app, but you can just go ahead and take this. And then you have it in a Word document, and then you'll be able to objectively see where you put all your words and your content. And you're going to find yourself saying what Jennifer and Christy said were just like really true, and it was true. and you'll be able to move that content around very easily. Because you asked me to send me the email regarding Showcase, and I gave you my suggestions on it and everything. Because you're going to want to have it as tight as you can, because ultimately what's in that 10 minutes is going to get boiled down to a 2 or 3 minute, sizzle reel for you. So you want to start thinking in terms of sound bites, and this is not too early to be doing that.
Thank you.
So that's my biggest suggestion, for you. I mean, I loved your humor, I loved your gestures. I agree, you sounded so authentic and genuine. I mean, I loved it. I wrote down here, I want to hear the whole thing. I've been on different weight loss things myself. I joined Weight Watchers this week, and so far so good, So you're going to have a lot of people that are really going to want to hear your message, and you come across with a lot of credibility. So.
Kathy, I love the flow, the content. I'm going to say exactly the same thing as some of the other speakers did. The pictures at the beginning, either tie them and put them all together in one kind of a shot, or if not just short. The one that I loved is the pizza. Oh, I love the pizza and the colors and everything. I mean, it was excellent. And but your style, your presentation, it's great. I mean, it's very engaging, very connecting. However, in some cases, just demonstrate your passion by, just raise a little bit, the voice, or just make more of an impact on what you want your listeners to really get. I mean, just go for it. But everything, I think that it's been great. I mean, it's a delight to hear you. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just have one question for the groups. I know we want to make sure I'll give you all your time.
No.
This was the first time that I gave a speech I didn't memorize. I always write it out, and I always memorize it verbatim. And I said, this is once I'm not going to do it, and I went over time.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to have to do for Showcase is probably worth doing. It's probably worth memorizing that. And making sure that I get everything in there and cut it down. I need to make, because I kind of ramble a little bit.
So I would say a couple of things. Memorizing isn't bad, and there are a lot of speakers, especially if you give the same speech over and over, they do that. But you were so real and authentic. I think you need a good outline, and you need a sense of, I need to be at this point at this time.
Right.
And you need to go and deliver it as often as you can, because that's what's going to keep you on target timeline.
Just kind of compress that food part there, and you'll save the time there.
And then the other thing is that the danger of memorization is that if, because of perhaps nerves or something, you happen to forget one thing, it can throw everything else that comes afterwards.
Before you memorize, it wasn't as authentic as you were today.
A nice medium place I'm sorry?
No, I'm just saying, when she told me I had a minute left, I'm like, oh my gosh, now what do I do?
That's all right. You're just
off.
learning. This is just
Oh, but
experience.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I should pick up. I'm like, oh, I only have a minute. What should I tell them? But I picked up where I left off, and I'm just like, I'm not going to get to tell the most important part, which are the 3 things that you're going to learn today.
And that's why you're experimenting.
Yeah.
Somebody told me years ago, I'm not a memorizer, memorize the opening and the close. That's essential.
Yeah.
The rest of it, for me, it's the bullet points. It should be here by then.
Your sound bites, right? Yeah.
Sound bites.
Yeah.
And that will keep you authentic, but you will nail your beginning and your close.
Thank you.
And so
Everybody's
Kathy,
different.
yeah, and if I could make a challenge,
Everybody's different.
or if I could make a request, I would love to see you get back up here again within the next couple of sessions. There's got to be space. I know there's space because it's summer.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you all.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at this.
Yeah.
So they're probably like,
That's
yeah,
right.
you like.
What's that movie when they come down?
Kathy, there's